Hey, so in this one, we're going to be reviewing information that you're going to need for the test. Most of this is on graphing, but there's a lot of other stuff that's on the test. As soon as I see a graph, I draw this symbol just so that I know that it's over, then up, or left to right, then top to bottom. It says we're going to be starting right here at the corner of 11th and B. And then it says you walk east to I Street. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to I Street. You walk west to B Street. I'm sorry, south to 7th Street. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over to B Street, which is 7, and then back up to your original spot, which is 4. And so then it asks, how many blocks in total have you traveled? Well, 4 plus 7 is 11 times 2 is 22 blocks. How would I describe this shape? It's a rectangle. That is a 7 by 4 rectangle. Now, then it says draw at least 2 different ways that you can walk exactly 8 blocks from the star and end up back where you started. And so I don't see, oh, there's a star on your map. Yeah, that's where I started. Okay, let's switch colors and I'll show you what we can do. So 8 blocks, you're looking at something like you can walk a 3 by 2 or a 2 by 3. Maybe because that would be 3, 4. Nope, that's not right. 8 blocks. I could walk a 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. That would be 8 blocks. Or I could walk a 3 by 1 or a 1 by 3. All of those would be blocks that I could do. And so describing those, like you're going to do a 2 by 2, which is 2 to the east, 2 to the south, 2 to the west, 2 to the north, or like a 3 by 1 or a 1 by 3. Those are all going to get me 8 as a total. Then it says that I'm going to have 6 square blocks. To get 6 square blocks, you're going to need a total of 6 blocks. So like I can do this, a 3 by 2 would give me 6, or a 6 by 1, or a 2 by 3. There we go. That's what I'm looking at for that one. I'm going to look at what was it, a 2 by 3, a 3 by 2, a 6 by 1, or a 1 by 6. I could also do a 1 by 6. All depending on, and all of those would give me an area of 6. And so here we go, write an inequality where this is true, but that is not. Let's see, the lowest, -3 is true, but -4 is not true. And so 2 different inequalities that I could do. I could do, if I did x is greater than -4, that would be true. Or I could also do like a y is greater than or equal to -3. That would make that true. And so let me switch colors so that it's very obvious which one I'm doing. And so for the blue one, the x is greater than -4, I would have, let's say, a 0 right here, -4 right there. I'm going to put an open circle and then I'm going to shade this way. And then for the -3 version, I'm going to put a solid circle and then I'm going to shade this way. And so either way, I'm going to shade towards the positive numbers. But because -3 is a possibility, but -4 is not, those are probably the 2 most common. You can get into decimals and fractions just the same. And then we're going to be graphing a couple of things. It says 3 coordinates of a rectangle are, and again, I always draw this symbol, 3, 0, 3, -5, and -4, -5. Well, that makes this one right here is the last point of my rectangle, and that is -4, because that one's a -4, and 0, because that one's a 0. And so I stole the x coordinate from C, I stole the y coordinate from A, or I could just look at the map, and there it is, or the graph, and there it is. Then a totally different graph. It says E is at -3, 4. So -3, 4 is right there. And 5, 4. And then I've got to draw a rectangle. Well, as long as this one's there and this one's there, I'm going to get rectangles. I could also go here and here. That's a rectangle there and there, there and there, there and there. So like, as long as I'm going to have the same x as I'm going to have a -3, comma, something. And I'm going to have a 5, comma, something. And as long as those somethings are the same, and so 0, 0 it works great. Would be these points right here would make me a rectangle. And then I have a square. It says 5, 0, which is right there as a square. Well, I could have that square, I could have that square, I could have that square, I could have that square. I'm going to go with this one, the 5 by 5 square. That gives me a point at 0, 0. It gives me a point at 5, 0. Wait, that's not right. 0, 5. That's why I've got to do that side to side every single time. 0 to the side, 5 up, and then lastly 5, 5. That would give me that square right there. Okay, and then on to the next one. I've got a lot of matching in this. Oh, wow. And so let's see. I have in my chart that A matches with F. So let's go like A matches with F, matches with K, and then I would have to draw that one, and it would look something like, I would have an open circle at 30, and then I'm going to shade this way. Yeah, that's what it would look like. And so that's A. For B, I would have, so for B, I got that was, I just wrote X is less than 30. That's not any of these. So X is less than 30 goes with B. G is graphed, and L are the solutions. Then C, it's colder than 30 degrees, negative 30 degrees, would be E. It would be I. And then when asked for solutions, solutions would be like, I don't know, negative 35, negative 40. Those are all colder than that. Not solutions would be like 0, 10, 20, like 30, all of those. And then lastly, we didn't have one, so D would have, so there is a D. The one we don't have is something like the temp was warmer than negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And so, because I got D D was right here, matched H, matched J. Okay, and then I looked at the next one. This is a weird one. This is a pathway, and if we didn't get to this in class, I totally understand. It says Jace somehow, like keeping track on his phone or his watch or something, was keeping track of his elevation as he was walking through the city. Now, it says, what was Jace? So it says time afternoon. So this is like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. That works great. But time before noon would be, this is 11, 10, 9, 8, and then 7 o'clock in the morning if you're looking at that. And so time afternoon, time before noon, that's what they're getting the negatives from. And then, so at noon, it was at 10 feet. Explain your thinking. It's right there. It says on the graph, 10 feet. At 3 p.m., so 3 hours after, he was at -7. This is 3 comma -7 would be right there. And so we've got to plot that point on the graph. At 8 a.m., which would be 4 hours before, he was at 1 foot. And so this would be -4 comma 1. And then from 4 to 5 p.m., he walked down into a cave. So here he is at 4. And so at 5 p.m., he could, walk down. He could be at any of those points. And so you just have to, any of those points. And so I wrote like 5, -6. And then you pick a point anywhere. I normally would have picked the origin, but at noon he was at 10. So that didn't work. So then I just went over to the next solid point, which was at right there at 1 o'clock. He would be at 0 feet. And because I put that point there. And so that works out fine. And so that's really all there is to this. Then we look at explaining more patterns. There's going to be questions about this. What you found challenging. I don't find any of this challenging. It's just putting dots on a graph. And as long as I know left and right, then up and down, I'm good to go. So good luck, study for the test, and I'll see you in the next video.